Wife 35F of 9 years got caught cheating with our son's baseball coach. She was caught by me catching a text at my daughter's birthday party come in that said, "I love you more." When I asked what that was about, she said it was a co-worker she's been helping. Because we had all our family and friends there, I didn't push it. Later the next day she came clean and said that she's been in a relationship for 6 months. This was back in October. She refused to tell me who it was with or what they've done. I was devastated. Absolutely destroyed. Still am. So we spent some time apart and she continued her relationship with him. I did some digging in the meantime and looking at the phone records, it was our son's coach. I called her out on it and she still continued the relationship. I saw a lawyer and he told me to not leave the house or the kids and either try to work it out or time to leave and to see a therapist. My therapist says she's a narcissist and that I should protect myself, protect my kids and run. Come December, she said she had cut it off with him and wanted to try again. I gave her all the effort in the world, but I don't feel like her soul's been in it. She's not overcompensating or has even truly apologized for what she's done. I've also gotten access to her photos. I'm the admin on the family Google account, and she doesn't know that I've seen all I have. She framed a picture of him and had it, maybe still does, at her desk. I found naked selfies she sent him that I haven't even received. I found a picture of his naked ass in our beach condo, which I thought was natural space as we were nothing sharing it during our time apart. I slept on those same sheets. I know that she was at a fancy restaurant with someone else. She screenshots all these deep love quotes that I know aren't about me. So much that love's rent-free in my head. She has a white bracelet with one black bead that she now wears every day. I've called her out on it. She lied once and said it was from her mom, and up to last week said, well, my best friend has the matching one. Well, her affair partner wears an all-black 1/8 one white bead. I know what that represents. Again, she doesn't know I've seen all these things. So now to current day, I can't place it, find anything that suggests that she's still with him. But I know she used Snapchat often and is secretive with her phone. Whenever I bring up the affair, this blow up, because I said I'd try to not bring it up and get over it, but I simply can't. I'm not rubbing it in, but it does come up when we argue, which is almost every week. We do really well for a bit, up to and including intimacy, but then something happens and we go back to shit. She cancelled our babysitter for trivia this past Tuesday, and for this Friday where I got tickets for us to see a show, but she doesn't want to go because I can't get over her affair. Her parents' mom and stepfather both cheated on their spouses for each other and support my wife, and both call and text me that it's unfair that I bring up her affair. The pictures of him life rent-free in my head almost constantly. I can't get past what she's done now, no matter how hard I try. I don't know what to do as she's trying to make me the bad guy, and I'm like, I've been here the whole time. I didn't fall in love with someone else. I just don't understand and am an emotional train wreck. Well, that's one hell of a story. Now, before we move on to the 2 updates by the op, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe to the channel for more such stories, and comment your take from the story and advices for the op. Update 1. Well, long story short, I literally just caught her at the family condo with the AF and have photos and video of his truck, his belongings in the home, and her coming out of the master where he stayed behind a closed door. I also went into our shared car that she drove, and it was left unlocked in the parking garage with an open high noon on the cup holder and her wallet and belongings still in it. She came home and tried to talk. It was calm conversation, but she kept saying it was my fault, and if I communicated with her last night, I grey-rocked her, maybe she wouldn't have been with him. So I communicated that I will be home later this afternoon evening, so she's unexpectedly watching the kids today. I wanted to hang with them, as she took them away from me yesterday to go do activities, and I would do separate activities today. However, I'm not emotionally able to give the kids the best of me right now, and I definitely don't want to be around her. I asked if she could sleep in a kid's room, and she got upset and stated that our bed is her bed, and she will sleep where she wants. I said, obviously. I've been for a 6-mile walk already and have been calling and leaving VMS at all the lawyers around. I know I can't abandon the home, but I can't be around them after what I just saw this am. Thank all of you who responded earlier this week and suggested Grey Rock and 180 for me. I implemented them, and I guess it drove her to this. But I'm officially divorcing her and there's no going back. Thank you so much, C Crew. Edit and update. Legal counsel told me to no contact her, so that's what I'm doing. She texted me last night all about how she hasn't asked for a second chance even though I've given them, and she loves me, and she now is willing to do therapy and share her locations and access to her phone and can't see rocking on the porch with at 80. Yada yada. When I got home last night, she was in the master, so I slept upstairs. Listen, no communication. She wouldn't even look at me. Yesterday, when I caught them with video, I saw his hat and had noticed it was a local landscaper. So I called to see if he worked there. He does. Okay, thanks. That was it. This MF just called me saying if I want to talk to him, here's his number. Don't call my boss. I said I have nothing to say to you. He replied, and I have nothing to say to you, and hung up. Also, her mom reached out and said how I must be devastated, and she's so sorry, and to call her when I have a chance. I'm going to continue my no contact with everyone and let my lawyer, once I secure one, do all the talking. This is so damn hard. Update #2327. I'll keep this one short. So she love-bombed me, confessed a lot of what she's done. I fell into it for a few days. The sex was great. Then we had a tiff last Friday, and we've basically been no contact, yet living under the same roof. She got into my Google Photos act and deleted a lot of the evidence ID collected from her and videos I had, but the important ones were backed up, literally trying to hide and cover up her affair. I have an appointment with my lawyers this Friday, and we will go from there. I've been running, house shopping, and trying to stay distracted. It's very hard. I have a lot of emotions and sadness. I lost my best friend and lover to another. I know I need to keep saying it's her loss, and it will be, but it all still sucks. Especially hearing her tell me all she's done horrible shit. I don't want to get divorced, but it's what has to happen for my own self-respect and happiness. I can never ever trust her again. Update 3. Sure, where to start? Well, first off, I did it. I officially filed for divorce, and she has been served. She has less than 2 weeks to respond. Quite literally the hardest decision I've ever had to make, and to be 100% honest, I still don't want to, but I know that it will be what's best for me, my soul, my anxiety, and my mind. Over the past month, we'd have good days and bad days. Tension was always high, and it turns out she still kept lying about him. I got a hold of her phone again, and she had shared locations on Snap with him. And when we were supposedly trying to make it work, she wouldn't even share that with me, her husband, and I had asked. Oh, and she changed his name in Snapchat so I wouldn't know it was him. Multi-levels of deception. She also had changed his name in her contacts to throw me off. Sucks for her. I know tech well, and am a bit smarter and clever than the average bear. On her birthday, we weren't getting along, so she chose to go spend time with him in the evening while I hung out without kids. Didn't tell me, found out by searching her phone for his name. That same day, she had been texting her BFF and literally told her I was being annoying and said, "Why don't you just divorce me?" to her regarding me. In arguments, she'd text me to divorce her because I would express how I was unhappy and am struggling trusting her because she's been so shady. Everything from blocking me on Snapchat because she didn't want to see my snaps was her reason, to a crazy phone screen cover, to changing the lock code on our car. Both names are on it, but it's primarily hers. Just really odd shit, and then would also try to love bomb me and have me just go along with everything and be a good family man. More recently, on my birthday, I made the poor decision to go out with her. Absolutely, we had a lovely time till something triggered me and her affair came up, and we started arguing. It escalated up to the point where I was recording her on my phone as she was going nuts, and she straight up hit me in the side of my head, knocked my phone to the ground, and we tussled over my phone. All recorded. She called the police, no charges pressed, and I was told to sleep upstairs, which I did willingly. The next day, she filed a protective order against me, and I couldn't reach out to or see the kids or her, which was okay for a week. I couldn't even be in my own home. She did have the kids call me every day, which was very nice. During that week, my lawyers convinced me the best thing to do, especially for custodial reasons, was to file as it supersedes the restraining order, so I did. At the court hearing, she was served and knew it was coming the night before, as her friend is an officer and it's public record. In front of the judge, she said that I was no threat to her or our children, and that I'm a great father. She also stated that I'm allowed to freely come and go at the house and anywhere else I chose, as I'm not a threat, and she wants me to see and be with the kids. It's in the transcript, so I'll use that in the custody battle. We will and have talked about 5,050, but it's good to have in case. So the judge basically said that this was all a waste of time, and now because the restraining order has to be extended till we divorce, it's all null except that I'm not allowed to threaten her. Not like I ever have or would ever do. I've moved to a family home which has room for me and the kiddos. They have their own room and beds, as well as toys, books, and everything else they could possibly need at this home, and we're splitting time with them. She expected me to make the M40-min commute to watch the kids by 7:30 so she can get to work, but I've made it very clear that if we have them overnight, we take care of the M's regardless where the kids are. She fought that for a bit, but I showed her I have a Pendy light order ready to go, and I could just take the main house 50% of the time and displace her, and she calmed down. So that's about it with an update. She's trying to win me back again, but I've now caught her 4 times going back to him, so I can't give her another chance. I want to, but I know I can't. I can't trust her. It's the hardest thing in the world. I break down crying randomly. I am terrified about the future and how it will all work out. I hate that she chose him over me and tries to win me back, telling me how much this is hurting her and all that jazz, and it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have had a fucking year-long affair. An affair that was first discovered by an I love you more text. Maybe you shouldn't have given my engagement wedding right back twice. You chose him. A one-time thing I could have recovered from and forgiven, but to go back time after time after time after time and hit it all and did all the things I know she did. Ugh, it's too much. I'm choosing to break up our beautiful little family, and it kills me. However, I have to stand up for myself, and I know I could never trust her again. She keeps asking for time to heal, but she keeps going back and getting mad at me for bringing her affair up when we bicker. I can't help myself. That motherfucker lives rent-free in my head all the time, and almost everything reminds me of her infidelity. She chose him over me, and now will suffer the consequences. It just sucks because I'm suffering greatly too. Don't get married, folks. I'm sure more will come to me, but I'm just having a hard time and needed to type this all out and get it out of my head. Thanks for reading my wall of text, and I appreciate all the support over the past few months. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also comment your take from the story and an advice for the op.